Hi, welcome to the Petersen YouTube channel. My name is Tom Plucinsky from BMW Group Classic, and we're here in Spartanburg, South Carolina at the BMW assembly plant for everything X. You saw the big X behind me earlier. This is where most X products are made for the BMW Group and exported around the world. This facility opened in late 1994, and it has grown ever since. Billions of dollars worth of investment. 11,000 people work here daily and 2 shifts. 1,500 vehicles per day are assembled and shipped around the world. We export to 120 countries. About 50% of the vehicles stay in the US, but the rest are exported. There's a railhead right in here. They get shipped down to the port in Charleston and then distributed around the world. We're entering the BMW Zentrum, which is the visitor center for the plant. And here you can see a little bit of history of BMW, also what is assembled at the plant. And it is also the start of the tours for the plant. So let's walk through the doors and let's see what we can find inside. Here we are in the historical side of the BMW Zentrum. It's roughly where you come in, the front door. And here we have a little bit of everything. So up on the wall here, you have a variety of products that represent the history of BMW, and then a variety of products that represent the history of the plant here. These are all cars that were assembled here at Plant Spartanburg over the years. Customers come to visit the assembly plant here in Spartanburg. We want to give them a little bit of the historical perspective of BMW. For many, they don't realize that BMW as a company has been around for over 100 years. So here on this elevated portion, we have a few cars that represent the 100+ year history of BMW, starting with a Dixie. And this is a really special little Dixie. Dixie is based on an Austin 7 that BMW built on contract, reversed the plans to make it left-hand drive versus right-hand drive. And from there, this was the start really of BMW's foray into 4-wheel vehicles. Prior to that, we were a 2-wheel vehicle company making motorcycles. But here's a very special Dixie. If we come around to the rear of the car, you'll see that it has a boat tail. So it's a 2-seater with a boat tail. Very, very cool little car, and extremely rare. There are very few of these. So we've had this as a part of the collection for a very long time, and it's shown here in the factory. We're still in the 1930s, but you see that BMW is starting to grow into more of a car manufacturer than a motorcycle manufacturer. This is a 4-passenger vehicle. It has an inline-6, which is a staple of BMW history. This one produces about 45 horsepower, very small by comparison to American pre-war cars. And it was, the start of BMW growing the car business in the 30s. And then we jump a long way to the next car. Let's go and have a look at that one. In our historical continuum, we go from pre-war vehicles and make a big jump to 1987 to the E30 M3, an icon of the modern era of BMW. This is a really nice one. The US version of the car in Alpine White was originally designed to be homologated to go racing, but it turned into an absolute icon for the street and heavily revered today. We're lucky to have a nice example here on display in the Zentrum. Next up is a car you don't see very often. This is a BMW Z1, or Z1 as we would say in the US. It wasn't a car that was sold in the US market. It was Europe only. But we have one in the collection here to show people. People really enjoy seeing this because of its very unique features. It's the first of the Z cars, and it has doors that retract into the lower sill. And you can drive it with the doors retracted. So it feels almost motorcycle-like when you drive. It's based on a 325 running gear, so the 325 E30 with inline-6 engine, the M20 engine. And the rear axle was a Z axle, so it was a new development for controlling the rear axle of the car, which then morphed into various things later on. It was a car designed by BMW Technic, which was a kind of a skunks work type thing at BMW that did these special models and special technologies. The skin of the car is a plastic moldable compound sort of plastic. The idea was that you could change the color of the car by removing the body panels and putting new ones on in a different color in 45 minutes. I can tell you it's not a 45-minute job. It can be done, but it's not something you really want to do. But yes, the roll down doors were really spectacular in this car, and it kind of set the stage for Z3, Z4 later on. The last in our line of historical continuum here is the BMW Z8, Z8 as we say in the US. A spectacular car, well recognized, was used in James Bond movies as well. It was an important car also from a technology standpoint. It was the first car that we made that used aluminum extrusions. It's a fully aluminum body on the vehicle, and it was to test out low production technologies, low volume production technologies on modern cars. And the technology from the chassis of this was used to do the first Rolls-Royce Phantom. So again, aluminum technology. The engine is from the E39 M5. It's an S62 V8 engine, mated with a manual transmission. This vehicle here was used as a test vehicle during the development period and has lived with us ever since. It has lived most of its life post-testing as a display car in the Zentrum. So in this row, we're going to look at a few cars that have historical significance to the plant here. This particular car is chassis number 007, so that might give you an indication of what is special about this car. This is actually the actual movie car from the film GoldenEye with James Bond. It was featured in the film, and then after that it was kept here at the museum. It is a pre-production vehicle, so it could never be sold. There was 100 examples of this design that were offered to the public. They came with special accessories and things in the same color. This is Atlantis blue, I believe, with the tan interior. This particular car has very low mileage on it. None of us have driven it. It was used for the movie and then came here. It was hand-built before the production started. So kind of a special car with a few things that are unique to it. So if you see the production ones, they're all exactly the same. This one here has these side marker lights that were only on this particular one. And yeah, and of course you can see the license plates on it are SC for South Carolina 007. So kind of a really cool piece of history, especially movie history, and we're really proud to have this car as part of the collection. Next up is the Z3 M Coupe. This one is a really special one, and I should start by saying that every Z3 ever made was assembled here at this assembly plant. So this is actually the last Z3 M Coupe assembled, and it is done in a special livery, a special color combo as well. And you know, this car is also known as the clown shoe. It is either a love it or hate it kind of car. They drive incredibly well. They are a little bit iffy towards the limits, but if you can master it, you're going to have a lot of fun in the car. This particular car has the M stripes on the hood. The interior is really special on it, done only for this particular car. Only has about 1,000 miles on it. It's really never been driven, and it's used for various displays as well as showing the history of the plant. So it's kept in very, very good condition. It's never been driven in anger. I've driven around the block. It's a fun car. You gotta love it. But we have others in the collection we can drive hard. So next up in the progression of icons of the assembly plant here, this is a Z4 M Roadster in a very nice blue with a special tan interior, kind of a buttery tan interior. This car is also special in that it is the 1 millionth vehicle assembled at this assembly plant. In the early days of the assembly plant, the Z3s were built at the same time as the X5 and on the same assembly line. So you could have several X3s and then X5s go down. When it came to Z4, the lines were split, and the volume of the Z4s were going down to a level where they could do a separate line, and then the X5s were their own line because volume was going up. But this is a really special car. Personally, I have an attachment to it. I got to drive this car for 2 demonstration laps before the entire field of 62 cars at Daytona, for the Rolex 24, with Bobby Rahal as my passenger. He was the Grand Marshal for that year, and he got to ride with me in this. So this baby is special to me, and Bobby and I had some fun around the track that day. The last model in our progression here is the E53 X5. This one is particularly special because this is the 4.6 IS, the high performance version, the first high performance version, I should say. And every X5 E53 was assembled here at the plant in Spartanburg and shipped around the world. So no matter where you see an E53 X5, unfortunately you don't see too many left anymore, but if you see one, it was built from here. So this particular vehicle was a test vehicle. It has some miles on it. It was used for engineering purposes early in its life. And then when it was retired, rather than being sold or crushed, it was given to us, and we've preserved it for the rest of its life. Should say a few words about the IS version of the X5. At the early stage of X5, most people thought that it was a sport activity vehicle, a little bit sporty, but more of a utilitarian vehicle. And the US market really thought there was going to be a growing market for performance versions. So it already performed very well. It was already an ultimate driving machine, but add more to that, make it more a little bit M, if you like. And it took a little while to convince, but the 4.6 IS was the first of those. Now we have X5Ms and X6Ms, and it's normal. But back in this day, it was a big deal to make this vehicle come to life. And the 4.6 IS, believe it or not, was engineered by Alpina in order to be either sold as an Alpina or ultimately it was sold as a BMW. And the IS ties back to the 325 IS and the E30 age. So it had some connotation in the market that IS meant sporty. And very successful vehicle in North America, and it went off from there, and now we have M's in the X class. So important in the history of the plant, but also important in the history of BMW. This spot here is reserved for our feature vehicle, and it rotates. Right now we happen to have a very, very special vehicle. I would say probably the pinnacle of our collection. It is a McLaren F1 GTR. It's chassis number 17R that raced at Le Mans in 1996. It's here for a few months so that the public can come and see it. It's very rare to see one of these, so it's nice to be able to display it. This vehicle is quite in demand, so it moves around a little bit. But right now it's here in the Zentrum. So if you want to see this car, the earlier the better. So it's been in the BMW North America Classic Collection since it was new. It did 3 races, 2 qualifiers, and the Le Mans, 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1996. And then it came over to here. We've added a passenger seat. Actually, we had McLaren add the passenger seat to the car so we can give rides in it. And it is a full running car. We do run it. We've raced it at the Rolex reunion in Monterey. And we're really proud to have this as part of the collection and have it here at the Zentrum for a short period of time. So no display would be complete without an M display, and here we have probably 2 very pinnacle cars for BMW M, starting with the M1 from 1978. This particular example is in 1980. It's a street car that was loaned from BMW Europe. This was not a vehicle that was ever sold in North America, so there are a few in the country, but it is a rarity. Wonderful car, and it's even better as a race car. So one car here, and then behind me here is a BMW Williams FW22 that was raced in the 2000 season by Ralf Schumacher. It is the pinnacle of the V10 era. So this had a BMW V10 in it. 3 liters, just under 3 liters, that rev to about 18,000 RPM. So a real screaming engine. Some people say it was the pinnacle of engine technology in Formula One. It's interesting, at the Petersen you see a good display of modern Formula One cars. It's amazing to me how small the cars from the 2000s were. And yeah, and this one did several races, 5 races to be exact. It has a couple of podiums, but is a non-runner at this point. And it's just too difficult to keep it running. So it's on here on static display, but a really nice piece of engineering, a great piece of history. And we're really happy that it's on loan from BMW Group Classic in Munich for the long term. We're talking about personal experiences in these cars, and I have to say, not to brag, but I did drive the race car first of the M1, and the race car M1 is superb. It's 470 horsepower roughly. The sound is amazing. It's a little too small for me, and I'm not a big guy. But then when you go into the street car, it is such a easy car to drive. It's about 270 horsepower. I fit better because I'm not wearing a helmet, which is great. And it is kind of an Italian supercar in some ways from the era, but also really usable on a day-to-day basis. That M88 BMW engine is super smooth. The gearbox is smooth, even though it is cable operated to the linkage. So the M1 is really a fantastic street car and an even better race car. A little bit of history of why the M1 is, or happened at all, and is the way it is. Back in the early days of BMW M, which was at that time BMW Motorsport, the focus was on racing. And the race car for BMW at the time was the BMW 3.0 CSL, which turned out into be a very successful vehicle, but it was an extremely expensive vehicle for BMW to run and for customer teams to run. So Jochen Nerpasch, the head of BMW M at the time, wanted to make a car that was closer to a race car, so that when you built the race car, it was less expensive. And the M1 was the result. It's a mid-engine car using an M88 engine, which was a successor to the one in the CSL. And it was a brilliant idea, and it reduced the cost of building a race car dramatically. And the car was designed to be raced in Group 4 and Group 5. Unfortunately, there were delays in getting it to production, and by the time the car was ready to go, Group 4 and Group 5 rules were pretty much gone. And so the idea that Nerpasch had was, talking to the Formula One guys of the era, said, hey, let's try to do this pro car thing where local legends would race against the Formula One groups that were in town for that particular session of Formula One, and it was televised worldwide. So it became the Pro Car Series. It was hugely successful, and most people remember the M1 race car as a pro car. There were some that raced in various sanctioned events around the world. In the US here, we ran them in endurance racing in IMSA, as an IMSA Group 4, a little bit different than a pro car. But this is what it's all based on. This was a homologation special. There are 459 of these built. And initially it was going to be built for us by Lamborghini, but Lamborghini went under at the time. And so we had to pull the tooling out and send it to Bauer to complete the assignment. It wasn't an easy project to get off the ground, but the result is pretty incredible. And one thing about the M1 is it's a German car in terms of engineering, but also an Italian car in terms of design. The exterior is done by Giorgetto Giugiaro of Ital Design, and certainly if I get in the car, I can show you the seating position and everything is very Italian. The controls are BMW, but seating position is Italian, and it's certainly Italian mid-engine car where the wheel well impacts the area for your feet here, so you're actually sitting a little bit sideways. It does kind of freak some people out, but you kind of get used to it. Headroom, there's not a ton, but there's enough for me, and all the controls are there for you. The arm reach for the steering wheel is somewhat Italian. It is quite far. Typically, I would prefer to have the steering wheel back here, but you learn to live with it. The sounds that the car makes are fantastic, and the overall sensation, the visceral sensation of driving the car is amazing. So it all works when you get moving on the road. Beautiful thing about the layout is you have fantastic front visibility. Rear visibility is not great, but you get by. And rear view mirrors are quite good on this car, so you can see behind you quite well. Love this car, just love it. It is a really interesting car. They're doing quite well in the used market as well, and we're really happy to have one in our collection. Showed you the historical side of the Zentrum, and now we'll show you the current side of the Zentrum. So these behind me are all products that are assembled here at the plant, starting with X3. Production of X4 just ended, but we have X5, X6, X7, and XB7, I should say, as well as the XM. So quite a few different models are assembled here at the plant at the moment. Kind of call the place the home of X, and that's why the big X up front. It has concentrated on X products for the last few years, and yeah, this is, if you buy one of these, this is where it came from. That's our little tour of BMW Zentrum here at Plant Spartanburg, South Carolina. This is a public space, so it is open 5 days a week. You can come and visit this area and also get a plant tour if we're offering them at that time. It's very close to the BMW Performance Center as well, so you can go and do some driving if you like. That's it for this tour. In the next episode, we have something special to show you.